I think, coming off last game, obviously finished strong, but not starting off, the way I wanted. And especially with our season being on the line last game, I was just excited to we had another opportunity today as a team and, for myself just to kind of bounce back. To be honest, they had us on the ropes in Game 6, right? The end of that third, going into the fourth, the game was back and forth. The crowd was into it. They had us, and we figured out a way to win. And, that was a great feeling to win that one and to come back home and, have another opportunity.
Just look at it, it's a good step. Like someone said, it was not a failure, steps to success. But yeah, you just gotta, it's tough. But you can't be sad about it and all you want, but you always gotta find ways to be better and keep improving, and that's what I'm gonna do, win or lose.
Someone also said, Michael, that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Right. So much to unpack as the Celtics sent the Sixers packing yet again in Game 7 yesterday. I was going down memory lane. I think when I first met you back at the beginning of this century, I feel like you had just come off of the Celtics beat and into being a columnist at the Boston Globe fairly recently. Like this was around 1999.
2000.
Summer 99, yeah, 2000. And so I want to start in the winning locker room. And I reference that because you've seen so much of this team over the last 2+ decades. You have a great grasp of the history of this storied franchise in Boston. And obviously you still call the Boston area home, very much tapped in, both as a journalist, but as just a resident, tapped into all things New England sports. So I just like some context because, I've rarely, if ever, seen a shooting display. I've rarely, if ever, seen somebody feeling it the way Jayson Tatum was yesterday, breaking the all of 2-week-old Game 7 scoring record with 51 points, and just getting whatever he wanted, wherever he wanted, against whomever he wanted, whenever he wanted yesterday, really the last 5 quarters. And so I'd love to know from you, how do you put it in context in terms of just Celtics lore, all the great players who've come through Boston, all the great performances that have taken place in Boston, in Game 7, in the old Boston Garden or Boston Garden or TD Garden, either garden. I just want to go. I just want to go to Boston here. How is it being processed and celebrated in Beantown, if they still call it that?
Celebrated.
Do they still call it that?
Oh yeah, they do. They do.
Okay.
And now people do it, like the Boston residents just do it kind of ironically, but not like, oh yeah, we are Beantown. They call it the Bean or something like that, knowing that tourists take the whole Beantown thing to another level. But they'll be like, yeah, we'll acknowledge it, but we ain't gonna die on that hill. Anyway, I'll tell you this, good memory going back there. I remember we went to that game. We went to a Celtics-Sixers playoff game. It was AI and his Sixers taking on Antoine Walker and Paul Pierce and their Celtics. And I said, let's go to the game because I covered this team when they were down and out, and I want to see them in the playoffs. I want to see what they look like when they grow up. And I remember we went to a game. I don't think we were covering it. We just kind of went to check it out. But how's it being played in Boston? Well, keep this in mind with Boston. Bill Russell there was a Bill Russell tribute here in 1999. And Aretha Franklin was there, and Jim Brown was there. A lot of luminaries, geniuses of industry, I call them, were at Boston Garden in '99. Larry Bird was also there. And Larry Bird saying to Bill Russell, he said, I respect you so much, your 11 championships in 13 years, because when you come to Boston, if you don't win multiple championships, you feel like you don't have game. So pressure was on me not just to win one championship, but to win multiples because of the tradition that you set with your Celtics. So that being said, this can't be the best organizationally because it didn't come in a championship. It didn't come in a championship game. But let me tell you, it was legendary. It goes into the canon of legendary Garden performances by home players and away players. Away players, Michael Jordan and his 63 in 1986. That's way up there. But this, Michael, this was amazing. This was, if you just say, throw it out, just a dude balling out the best you've seen in Boston Garden. This is in the top 5. Goes in there, goes up there with LeBron James and his 45 for the Miami Heat in 2012. Paul Pierce in 2008 against LeBron. I think he had 41 in that game. That was a Game 7 in the conference semifinals. But this was incredible from Jayson Tatum, not only scoring, not only rebounding, dishing. Do you realize the man had 0 turnovers? He had no turnovers yesterday. So he had everything going.
He was on one, man.
They needed it. They needed it. And the context, you want to talk about context. This quote was given after Game 6, humbly, on one of the best basketball players in the world, when he was 5 for 21 from the field and had a great fourth quarter. So think about where he was through 3 quarters in Philly in Game 6. Put his fourth quarter in Philly on Friday night.
Those five quarters.
His entire game on Mother's Day in Boston.
Look.
Yeah, it's one of the top 5 performances I've ever seen.
On Mother's Day, Deuce's dad, son, the Sixers, is my headline. I mean, I know everything is about rings. I know everything is about it. It's definitely championship or bust in Boston, given the history there. But this feels like a game we would still remember and still talk about, even if they don't beat Jimmy Butler's Heat or go on to beat either LeBron and AD's Lakers or Nikola Jokic's Nuggets. Regardless of how this season ends for these Celtics, it does feel like a performance we'd still talk about. However, they've been regulars in the conference finals. We know that they lost in the finals last year. I know that there's also been some frustration for you and many other close observers of the Celtics this season. As good a team as they were this season, there was some frustration, some battles with immaturity and inconsistency. And now all of a sudden here they are, not only back in the Eastern Conference Finals, but as it stands, title favorites. It's one thing to beat the Sixers, who we'll pick apart in a second.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Is this a championship? Is this a championship team?
Oh, the Celtics? Mm-hmm. They are a champion. They are a championship team. Now, I'm not gonna name names. I'm not gonna name names. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna expand the field just so to protect everybody, to protect the innocent. Between us, there are 6 children that we're responsible for. 6 of them. Now, I don't know which. I got a kid in mind for me. I don't know if you have a kid in mind that you'd have this conversation with. You got all the ability in the world. You got all the talent in the world. You need to stop messing around now. Stop messing around. If you go and focus, you're the best. You know you're great.
Hey,
I know. We know you can get it done.
I told one of them kids the other day, I said, hey man, C's are for free.
I know who it is.
You can make C's.
You just gave it away.
Pay for it. You know what I mean? Let's be honest about this. Just let me know. But anyway, so
that's right.
It sounds like you're saying
we spent all this. Listen, we spent all this money. I know you can give me more than that. I know you can. And so I'm a
proud product. I'm a proud product of New Orleans public schools. Ain't nothing wrong with public schools. So you ain't got to mess around on my dime.
We had the same conversation. So look, that's who the Celtics are. When they see somebody, when they see iron, if they recognize you as iron, they gonna ball out.
They're sharp.
If there's any moment, if they can be condescending, they will be condescending, and then they'll just mess around with it. So I will tell you quickly, I'm a little nervous about their performance against the Miami Heat, because the Heat are iron, but they're iron wrapped in number 8 seed clothing, and the Celtics might look down on them. So watch out.
They can't. After last year, or really the last several years, I mean, they know this team enough. Third time in the last 4 in this very spot. They're too familiar with their work to look at them as light work.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.